The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online, a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you can post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. You can also subscribe to my Twitter feed with all the latest information on Iran and all the other late-breaking important stories internationally that you need to know. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show. This has been a hot subject, not only during the hour that the show is on the air officially, but the hours prior to and after the 1 hour of official programming. This room on Paltalk, the News Talk Online room, has been rocking and rolling as people have been sharing information, especially Iranians and expatriated Iranians. Over the weekend, we were pleased to have an Iranian woman join us from Tehran via the phone, patched into the News Talk room, and she told us the horrors of what is happening on the street. By now, I'm sure you've all have seen the very disturbing video of the 16 or 17-year-old girl who has now become the symbol of the resistance, who was shot before the cameras and died before the cameras, just standing there in the street, shot by a sharpshooter, probably from the roof of a building. That's where the shootings are occurring. As a result of all this intimidation, there are fewer people presumably on the streets of Tehran today than in previous days. There are some tweets that are coming out discussing the possibility of a general strike, maybe as early as tomorrow. If you go to my blog, you will see links, or to my Twitter feed, to two first-hand accounts written by people that are there in Iran. The accounts and the images are fewer in number than they have been in days before. They are doing their best, the regime, to stop people from getting information out. It's very difficult to get access to the internet. People are finding that their cell phones, because of the ability to make images with the cell phones, are being confiscated from them on the streets. Some video is getting out. If you go to GaryBaumgarten.com, you will see some very disturbing video. There's a cautionary note to this one. If you can't stomach the violence, do not look at it. But it's terrible the way the Iranian government is turning against its own people. Breaking news. The Iran's Guardian Council is to announce the official final election results on Wednesday. We're going to run a contest on Paltalk, see who can figure out ahead of time, guess ahead of time, by what number Ahmadinejad will win this time. I'm sure he will win. The Guardian Council announced itself that in 50 cities there were more votes cast than there were eligible voters. Why are they saying this? Probably as an attempt to appease people into thinking that the government is really looking into this, and then whatever results are officially re-announced on Wednesday will be accurate. I don't think they're fooling anybody within the country or outside of the country. There's an interesting link to a story about how Israel may benefit as a result of what's going on in Iran. There's also a link to live Persian TV from the BBC on my Twitter feed. You may not be able to understand what they are saying, but you certainly can see the images that Persian TV is broadcasting. By the way, there are rooms in Farsi that are now open on Paltalk to allow for the Iranians, both inside Iran, if they can get on the internet, and outside of Iran to discuss what's going on there today. I also have a story that explains and links to an initial dispatch from the Wall Street Journal today, which shows how Iran and China are using Western technology to not only censor what's coming out of those two countries, but also to attempt to track down the individuals who are sending information out for retribution. Fear is gripping Iran both over the bloodshed in the streets and the fear that government agents may be tracking them down via the internet. You saw a rebroadcast of what we brought you live earlier today, where the former Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi spoke before the National Press Club today in Washington, D.C., and we thank Live Coverage for bringing us that live and then a repeat of it leading up to the show today. I also have a link to an unnamed professor's diary in Tehran. Obviously, people have to remain anonymous, describing what's going on the streets and on the campuses. You may have seen video that we posted over the weekend, which showed that the militia security forces invaded Tehran University and other universities and smashed up the computer labs. They smashed up the computer labs to prevent people from using them to getting the word out what's going on the streets of Iran. We also have confirmed today that a Newsweek reporter has been arrested in Iran. We have information that riot police were attacking hundreds of protesters with tear gas and firing live bullets into the air. We now have confirmation of that in the form of late video, the disturbing video that is on the blog, GaryBaumgarten.com. It seems to me that the people of Iran are at a crossroads right now. There's a site that the government set up that is identifying people from their own pictures that were taken by protesters with circles around the faces of those people. And now those people are very much in danger. I fear that if the protesters are not successful in getting at least reform and possibly regime change in Iran, there will be horrible retribution. The rumors that not only will have the foreign journalists been expelled from Iran, but the rumors that foreign diplomats may be expelled from Iran is very chilling, because there may be nobody there to tell the story. And that might give the regime the opportunity to go back against all those who stood up against it and either incarcerate them or worse. We've already seen that they don't care about Iranian blood running in the streets of Iran. I'm very nervous about the few people who have been contributing to this show very bravely at their own personal risk, and I kind of feel a personal responsibility. One always must make an editorial decision. Is it worth publicizing their words? They've begged me to do so. I've redacted much of what they have presented to us so that